For those that have fled to Illinois or to California, be reminded that the FBI's assistant has reportedly been enlisted, and their powers are not confined to any singular state's boundaries.
The Texas House once again failed to establish quorum during Friday's session, throwing Republicans' plans to redraw maps in the state into limbo. Officials have since ramped up efforts to force Democrats to come back to the state, working on civil arrest warrants that could be enforced in California, where some of those Democrats fled. Tomorrow, the Texas State House will reconvene again in an attempt to establish a quorum and proceed with the vote. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Marie Mortera. Now, talks of redistricting have begun to spread to other states, which now begs the question, could Nevada also see maps redrawn in the near future? News 3's Will Silverstein has been looking into the possibility and joins us now live here in studio with more. Will?
Well, Marie, lots of people here in Nevada are curious about this. I asked the question to both my interviewees this evening. Take a listen to what they had to say.
And there's nothing illegal or unconstitutional about a mid-decade redistricting.
Political science professor David McCuan says redistricting is possible within the next few years for the Nevada State Legislature. That's because state lawmakers in Nevada, unlike in other states that use a usually nonpartisan commission, are in charge of drawing the maps. Even though it's common practice to redistrict after the latest census data, that data will not arrive for another 5 to 6 years. Is it conceivable that Nevada could redistrict before 2030?
It would be hard to do. This is no simple task, but it's plausible that would happen. What would be interesting or novel if Nevada did that is that, again, it's a purple state, right? We're seeing mostly red states, talking about this, and blue states talking about this. It's the purple states that are a little bit interesting.
In my opinion, the best politicians across the country of any political stripe are the ones that have to talk to the most people that they represent in order to win election.
That's political strategist Tal Eslick, a former chief of staff to a Purple District Congress member. In 2024, Republican candidate Donald Trump came out with a victory in the Silver State for that presidential election, as did then GOP candidate Joe Lombardo in the 2022 governor's race. Despite this, Democrats have had success on the state legislative level. Eslick says that may be due to how the maps in Nevada are drawn.
And ultimately, I hope voters hold elected officials that are seeking to win elections by changing the rules accountable for that sort of behavior.
And according to the Princeton University's nonpartisan gerrymandering project report card, state lawmakers in Nevada get an F for the way the state drew up its districts after the 2020 census numbers. The report citing the significant Democratic advantage for a purple state with 3 Democratic-leaning seats and just 1 Republican-leaning seat. But Professor McCuan suggests these demographics may be different in 2025 compared to the census data used in 2020.
Now we're in that 2025 cycle. And so those demographic shifts in the wake of COVID, in the wake of economic upheaval, and changes in the gaming industry and what's going on with gaming tourism, all of those elements have shaken up Nevada in that sense. And so their maps are in some ways dynamic, even though the populations are much smaller, making them much more hyperkinetically purple.
Eslick, perhaps unconvinced by McCuan's argument, leaves us with this.
Just like a dirty diaper on a baby, you've got to change the diaper. And usually for the same reason, you got to change politicians periodically. And that gets harder to do when redistricting has been gamed by either party.
And if Governor Lombardo is still in power, there's a very slim chance that this would go through. And when we think about this redistricting, you can even go to some of the smallest states. I was in Wyoming, and it was a very heavily Republican-favored state. State House, 57-5 Republicans to Democrats, and still there was a push to add seats to the state legislature. This doesn't change no matter the state colors, red or blue.
Really interesting vantage points there. Will be interesting to see what we also see in the future. Will, thank you for that.